Hello everyone, Namaste from India and welcome to LiveWabiSabi podcast. I am your host Shilpi Gupta Shah, former Mrs. India Gujarat Empress, winner of Unstoppable Pride of India and Making a Difference Award, a women empowerment advocate and a digital community builder and founder of LiveWabiSabi Life, a digital media platform, storytelling platform dedicated to authentic human stories. But before any of those titles, as I have informed you earlier, that I am mother of two sons, I am someone who has lived health challenges, career switches, and reinvented my life in my late 30s. And what I have learned from my journey is simple yet powerful. Our lives are not defined by how perfectly we live, but by how courageously we rise from the challenges life throws at us. So, this aspect is brought to life by this podcast. Let me give you a brief gist about Wabi Sabi today. So, in Japanese culture, Wabi Sabi teaches us that beauty exists in incomplete, impermanent, and imperfect things. Wabi Sabi invites us to simply embrace ourselves as we are in our journey and trust that we are becoming. Because the truth is, we are not meant to be perfect, we are meant to be real. And here at Live Wabi Sabi podcast, we serve you a real dose of self love shorts, empowering messages through conversations with inspiring women leaders, professionals, homemakers across globe who talk about their journeys of becoming the women they are today. And today we have with us Vannessa Misso-Veness, concierge parenting and life coach for modern working parents. That's so interesting. Modern working parents. So welcome to Live Wabi Sabi podcast, Vanessa. How are you feeling in this session today?
Thank you. Firstly, thank you for having me here, and I'm totally excited to share, what I've learned from my life with the community out there listening. So I am excited, but also
Wonderful.
a little nervous.
Yeah, I mean that's wabi sabi, incomplete, impermanent, unfinished. So, Vanessa, from which part of world have you joined, and what's the time at your place? Will you like to quickly tell us, our viewers?
Yes, so I'm joining you from Hong Kong, and we are now at 11 o'clock. So I think that's a few hours ahead of you.
Yes, here it's 8:30 a.m.
Yes, so thank you for being up early for this session.
Most welcome, most welcome. And now, please, will you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yes, thank you. So I'm Vanessa. In my previous life, I was an educator, trained teacher, and I used to do a lot of teacher training and then transitioned into conscious life and parenting when I became a parent myself and started up my own coaching business. So at the moment, I'm actually balancing working with children, still teaching them on a private basis, and also coaching the parents. So I find that's a beautiful bridge, working with the children and coaching the parents and the women in the community I have. And I also run monthly mothers meetup groups, a space for parents to come together, to just talk about the challenges. But for me, it's not just challenges because it's easy to complain, isn't it? It's easy to moan and groan. So we come together to also celebrate the small things that we have achieved in the month.
Hmm. So children must be happy that okay, parents parents
Well,
will be coached, right?
yeah, it's a beautiful conversation because working with children, sometimes we forget to see that they're their own individual spirits, not a photocopy of their parents. So they have their own ideas, their own dreams. And as adults, sometimes we forget to listen to them because we have our own agenda. Let's go, let's go, let's go with the kids. So it's a beautiful process working with them.
Yeah, yeah. And as you mentioned that you started all of this after becoming a parent yourself, and your work beautifully reflects the idea that parenting begins within. So can you take us back to the moment or phase in life where this inner transformation journey truly began for you?
You sure? Oh my gosh, this scene is so clear in my head, right? My husband and I have moved a lot since we've got married. So we've always moved countries. And my daughter was a few months when we were living in England. And I remember she was a girl who used to cry for many hours. She could just cry and cry and cry. And the moment came one day when my husband wasn't around. He'd been away for work. And she was just crying nonstop for a few hours, no matter what I did. And then I could feel myself getting so impatient. And that's where it started for me. I realized, I looked at her and I thought, oh my gosh, this is the family trait that I'm repeating. The quick to anger, slow to respond. I think it hit me really hard. But to be honest, it wasn't at that moment when she was crying for 2 hours. Was months later upon reflection. And then I thought there must be a better way for me to parent, right? It's not my daughter's fault that she's crying. So that unease, I still look back at it and think, oops, if only I could do it better. But the moment has passed, I can only move forward. So that's the moment when it clicked for me. It wasn't right the way I was looking at my daughter, as if blaming her, for being a
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, I understand. I understand. When we connect the dots later, then only, we are able to understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
truly.
now becoming a parent often reshapes identity, Vanessa. So what parts of yourself did you have to, unlearn or rediscovered as you stepped into motherhood?
So for a very long time, I never wanted to be a mother. I didn't think I had it in me to be a mother. There was a fear of repeating family patterns, right? And so, which I did, I just explained to you, then I saw it with my daughter and my quick anger. So, what shifted in me when I became a mother? Because I became a mother later in life. So, I'm what we call a matured mother, right? Later in my life. And what shifted in me was I realized, oh my goodness, I have to stop being the good girl because I grew up as the eldest child, the eldest granddaughter, always wanting to do the perfect thing, right? To stop being a good girl and pleasing. I couldn't be the good girl at that time. Then I also had to unlearn that because I'm kind of perfectionist in the sense that when I get work done, boom, 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 right? Becoming a mother, it doesn't. My child doesn't follow. My child doesn't follow a schedule. So I had to unlearn that productivity in my life didn't mean my child will sleep at this time. I'll feed her at this time. I'll do the dishes at this time. Oh my goodness, I had to unlearn all that. Then I had to rediscover that, okay, motherhood is about relaxing my goals and my perception and going with the flow of my child, not me, my child. That's what I had to unlearn.
Going with the flow of my child, and this concept should be applied everywhere. Going with the flow, right?
It was so hard. It was so hard because I grew up and I was working and I had my own business, right? I followed my structure, my timeline. Now I had to strip away all that and say, I have a baby in front of me. What do I do?
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, so you speak a lot about not fixing the child. So what
Yes.
is that? What does that truly mean? I mean, when it comes to your coaching. So how was there a moment when this shift became deeply personal? For you.
Yes. So, firstly, I mentioned when I saw my daughter crying for so many hours, I thought, oh my gosh, why won't she stop? I need to control her. I need to make her stop, right? And I was a new mom. Though I was a matured mom, I was a new mom to that. So, in that wanting to fix my daughter, it was all my anxieties coming up. Oh no, what will the neighbors say? My daughter is crying. I'm not a good mother. Why can't she stop the daughter from crying? Doesn't she know? So I was trying to fix the situation. But over time, I realized, as I said, to go with the flow doesn't mean I give up all of that. It was realizing, hey, why am I getting so worked up? Why am I worried that my neighbor will say something about me? Then I realized it's not trying to fix the child. It was looking at me. What am I concerned about? Oh, I was concerned about the being judged because I didn't want my neighbor to say, terrible mother. She doesn't know what to do. Then when my daughter wasn't listening to me, hey, do it this way. Then she wanted to do it her own way. Looking at it, reflecting, I realized, hey, what am I doing? My daughter also has her own perception, her own mind, right? So it's not fixing my child, it's coming back to me and saying, hey, what is my pattern that keeps coming up? Oh, I don't like to be contradicted. I want to be in control. So being perfect, being in control, don't want to be judged and shamed. That is what, when I realize I'm not fixing my daughter, it comes from me. So then I realized that parenting is about first me understanding myself. What makes me uncomfortable? What triggers me? So that's why I remind parents that I work with, right? When your child is behaving in such a way, it's our invitation to look at myself, asking them, why am I constantly on edge? Why does that irritate me? And then realize, okay, it is about me. I don't like certain things. Is it my child's fault? No. That's where it occurred to me then. I cannot
Wow.
fix my child. I got to look at myself, right?
Yeah, every time you have to fix yourself. You cannot fix others, right? Most of the
Definitely.
times. And even today, I mean, when it comes to parenting, even today, like I struggle with being a perfect parent or being an authentic parent. So,
Yeah,
what does that balance look for you today? Or maybe you could tell us how could we, balance ourselves being a perfect parent or authentic parent?
sure. Sure. Okay. So my vision, I'll tell you this. My vision of a perfect parent I had, and I've done a webinar on this before too, was I had this vision in my head, like a Disney movie, right? Oh, I'll have this child and I'll dress my child this way and we'll do these beautiful things together, as if like all the Disney cartoons and movies. That was the perfect parent I wanted to be. My child will listen to me when I said, do this. We will have beautiful meal times together. She'll be drawing perfectly. When I say, this is your schedule, this is what will happen, it will happen. That was the movie in my head, implanted, right? Then that was my inner voice. In reality, the authentic parent is the messy parent.
Okay.
What does that mean? It means I give up some of the strict structure. I'm not saying don't have boundaries. Yes, you do. Like, okay, this is bedtime, this is meal time. But then I want my child to also feel safe to be a child. Oh, it's you're playing right now. Oh, I see you're drawing on the floor. Okay, maybe let's not do that. Let's take a piece of paper. Let's have a big piece of paper and draw on that. Allowing my child to discover, but doing boundaries in a safe way for my child, right? And to tell myself, hey, you know what? I am not going to be perfect. My child doesn't need me to be perfect. My child doesn't understand the concept of perfect. But my child understands the concept of mom and dad being there with you,
Yeah.
drawing and enjoying the moment. Oops, you've made a mistake. In my eyes, it's a mistake. How would you know it's a mistake? But gently guiding you to saying that's authenticity, right? Really understanding that failure, because we like the word failure as adults, right? So I'm using it like when the child does something wrong, they don't know at the beginning. We know. So we have to be the bigger guide. So it's okay. They'll mess up. So will I. So will I mess up, right?
Yeah,
So that
normalize being messed up.
oh my gosh, yes, normalize the fact that it's okay to be average. Society tells us all the time we have to be perfect, high achieving, then you are successful. So much so that I have worked with parents who put that onto their children without realizing that average is okay. Average is not bad. This is where I am. So why make me something I can't be? And everybody's stressed in the family, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And since you use this example of drawing on the wall, let me tell you that when my younger son, he used to decorate all the walls in our house with his pen when he was 2 or 3 years old. Since he started writing on the walls first. And I mean, I think parenting occurs to you when you are mom the second time. When you are the first time, you are a very
Mm.
strict mom, but when it comes to your second child, then you become a lenient kind of mom. So I used to enjoy his painting while telling him that this isn't a good practice, but still we used to enjoy that part. So if we try to enjoy and be in the moment, then things get easier for you, right? Because later on, he himself realized, and he stopped drawing after 1 or 2 years. But yes, that was a kind of messed up things, because you know how
Yes,
the walls
yes.
look like. But but
I
but
agree.
but I think so that parenting occurs to you when you become a mom second time. I don't know if I am right or wrong. So just let us know, you being a
Well, I
parent.
only have one daughter. So I can't say it was
Okay.
a second time, but it was an opportunity for me to realize that I could do it better. And when I
Okay.
say do it better, it's not judging myself that I failed or shaming myself. I say do it better because I'm thinking from my mind, when I was a child, what did I need that sometimes
Mhm.
my parents did not give me? Again, no shame and blame to them. Everybody does the best they can in the situation they have. And so I say, oh, I would appreciate it if somebody spent a little bit more time playing with me or talking with me. So then I can do that. What would have appreciated? I grew up a very shy child, very self conscious. Maybe instead of shaming me and saying, oh my gosh, why can't you do that? It's so embarrassing. I tried, then I won't do that to my child because I understand what it feels like inside when somebody shames me when I'm young. So it's the reflection that helps me become moving forward to be the better person, right? That's where
Okay.
I'm thinking from. The idea is not perfection as we are saying. The idea is I make mistakes, but moving forward, I want to repair. I repair by
Okay.
reflecting, right? I repair by
Makes
reflecting, and when
sense.
I reflect, I can grow and become better. And that's what I'm showing my child. Hey, even I make mistakes, but what can we do? We can try and think, oh, I made that, and I repair and I go forward. That's what we do
Okay.
each day. Yeah.
And now let's talk about something about fear, Vanessa. So, in your
Mm.
experience, what is the most common fear modern parents carry today?
I like that. The reason I say modern parents because it's so different in the times that we are growing up now, and all that's happening is quick, quick, quick. I have a platform where we have a global community. And no
Hmm.
matter where people come from, the common fear that we have is the fear of not doing enough for our child. So many modern parents feel that, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, I fail my child, such that we go to the extreme of doing too much. And then we
Hmm.
cripple our children for not being independent, for not being critical. And then we shame them later on by saying, hey, why can't you do that yourself? Ironically, you did everything for your child in the beginning. So that's one common fear, that if I don't do enough, my child will fall behind. My child will fail, right? That is the common fear, not enough for my child.
Okay. And how do you help parents when it comes to your coaching? So, how do you help parents move from control to connection in real or everyday situations?
Okay, that's a very, very good one because I have parents who come to me like that. I have this fear. Why do I keep feeling guilty and the fear? My child is not listening to me. Some parents come with open hearts. I want to make a change. Some parents come with, can you do something about my child? And then through coaching, they come to realize, hey, it's really not my child. What is causing me? So we pick out what's the underlying fear first. So over time, we discover the underlying fear. And from that fear, help parents regulate themselves. Okay, I'm feeling this. What can I do? So I provide through coaching strategies that they can use. Now, the word strategies, I use it not very lightly because sometimes people think it's a very big thing to do. I believe in giving parents small, achievable things that they can do. We stack habits. I call them nano habits. You stack little bit by little bit to grow awareness. And then when your awareness grows, then slowly we can shift the way we interact with our child, right?
Okay.
So, one very powerful thing I totally believe in is pausing, because knowing from my own reaction,
Pausing your reaction to the
pausing,
situation,
because as I said before, I was very reactive. I will go from here to 0 to 100, get angry. So I found that if I stop and I can then think clearly, because when we are emotional, we just can't see clearly, right? We just want to react. So pausing has helped many a parent. So we start with that small thing first. Then through
right?
coaching, we look at what is their common fear and what's their fear and how it's affecting behavior, and then slowly making shifts for them.
Okay.
Each parent is different. Some will come to it faster, some will take a long time because there's no right and wrong journey on this. Yeah.
Okay, so Vanessa, like you do one-on-one coaching, or there are group coaching as well. I mean,
Yes.
the idea behind asking this question is I want to understand, are parents comfortable sharing their
Mm.
challenges with their children in a group space, in a community space?
Okay, so I do both. I do
Okay.
have parents who come one on one. How did that happen? Because they came for the group sessions first. So, as I mentioned, I do have a monthly meetup. That is
Mhm.
an in person group, and we also have online sessions. Now,
Mhm.
will parents be able to open up? You will be surprised that in a group where we don't know each other, how people listen to other people's stories and then start sharing theirs. They may not share immediately. Maybe they'll come first month, second month, they listen and then they share. From there, some of them say, "Hey, I'm ready for a one on one," right? Then they
Okay.
will do one on one sessions because then they realize what they want to work on. So that's how it goes sometimes. Some parents start with just straight away one on one because, yes, they don't want to share it publicly. And then they do that. Then there's an invite over time. After some time, I invite them, would you like to come to the group so you can share your story and other people can benefit? So it can work both ways, right?
Okay, okay, understood. Now coming back to the wabi sabi lens, Vanessa. So,
Yes.
if you look at your journey through a wabi sabi lens, I mean the beauty of imperfection, what would you say has been most, imperfectly perfect chapter for you?
Oh, the most perfectly imperfect chapter. As I said, we travel a lot. We've moved countries a lot. And
Mhm.
one of the biggest one was coming here to Hong Kong 9 years ago. I
Okay.
transitioned out from a workplace to coming to a new place, starting up my coaching and my education business. And
Mm-hmm.
then learning how to balance all that as a mom, a working mom, and a business owner, right? So that I wanted to present like, oh, I've got it all. But in reality, my wabi sabi moment was realizing that balance isn't, oh, let me take a pen to show you this. I learned this. Balance isn't like this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
realized that my most imperfect time would be this is what balance looks like. Maybe one day something like my family may need more attention. Then
Yeah.
another day, my business will need more attention. Then I realized I don't have to be like this. Like this is so stressful because I can't get that. So that was this is my imperfect moment, like
Yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I am trying to hold it on a finger to tell that I mean it's never perfect. I mean,
It's never perfect.
yeah,
Exactly. So that was
yeah.
that actually I can't say was Shilpi. This is my imperfect chapter now. Some days
Okay.
this take more attention, some days that take more attention, and I'm allowing that to happen because why? It reduces my stress. How can I maintain 100% all the time? Impossible, right? I will run out of gas. So that is
Absolutely.
my chapter. And I'm living my chapter every day. It's probably going to be a very thick chapter.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for answering this so candidly, Vanessa. And now, at Live Wabi Sabi podcast, we generally talk about self love shots. So, what
Hmm.
are your doses of self love shots which you don't miss on?
Okay, so I must be honest. When I thought about self love before, I came
Okay.
into more awareness about what conscious living was like. It seemed like going to the spa, getting my nails done, very, very external, right? Very external. I am not saying those are wrong, but for me, I realized those only short lived. For that 2 hours, somebody doing my nails or massage feels very nice. So today, the idea of self-love, really, I've been thinking about this concept for quite a few years. What is self-love? How do I love myself? I would say it starts one with the voice in my head. So through my
Okay.
practice is how do I speak to myself? Actually, who has been my greatest reminder is my husband. He reminds me, don't, why are you talking like that to yourself? Don't say that to yourself. So that is self love. If I can speak love to my daughter, why can't I speak that love to myself? So
Yeah.
when I make a mistake, I literally sometimes say it aloud. It's okay, Vanessa. It's fine. It's fine. You made that mistake. What can you do better now? And I listen to that voice because that's the voice I would say to my daughter. So why not say it to myself, right? And another self love thing I really, really have been practicing for the past 2 years is when I feel so much going, I stop. That's my pause. Breathe and say, okay, just breathe. All right, what's the next thing you can do now? And that calms me down a bit so I can see more clearly. And I've been practicing that for a long time. And the third thing I've been doing in my imperfect life for self-love is, hey, look, there are dishes in the sink. I say this to myself, there are dishes in the sink. What do you want to do? I'll do that. Yeah, because I realize that speaking aloud helps me hear my own thoughts. Now, I'm not going to do it now. The dishes can stay. Just put some water in them. When I'm less stressed, I'll come back to them because it will not change what I need to do right now. And I feel better to break down my perfectness of kitchen is 100% showroom ready. That's what I'm trying to do for my self-love right now.
Okay, so yeah. So first and foremost, having love talk with yourself. Then second thing, take a pause when you feel chaotic, right? And third one
Yes.
is, I mean, kitchen, showroom ready kitchen isn't required
Is
every
it
time.
required? And if I were to put this on Instagram, my self-love ways isn't like Instagrammable, right? But it is the way it is, right? I
Yeah.
don't have to be
Wow.
perfect.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, perfect answer. You don't have to be perfect. The answer is perfect.
Yes, I think so.
So, yeah. So
You
now,
you are my reminder.
yeah. Is there any specific song which instantly makes you feel unstoppable? I mean, when you are, like surrounded with chaos, or if you want to feel, light in some way. So, is there
Yes.
any
Okay.
specific song?
So I love danceable music, upbeat music, and for the past few years, when I wake up and when the family leave for work, I put on a song so I can dance. So one of it that came to my mind is "Walking on Sunshine" by Katrina and the Waves. I love that
Okay.
because like I'm walking on sunshine. It's beat fast and it feels so good when I wake up and I want to get that before I shower. So I tell some of the women, I using the word tell, but I do suggest to some of the women, I was like, create your own playlist, something you can just play on in the morning, gets your adrenaline flowing, you feel good, and then you can start doing that. It's such a great way, a soundtrack, your own, your favorite. Nobody can listen to it. It's yours.
Yeah, yeah. And if you are living in a family, put your AirPods on. Maybe
Yes, and
at least
just
in
dance.
1 year. 1 year,
Yeah,
1 year you can have your AirPods, and one is open to the
yeah,
family. Maybe.
yes. It's a
So, anyways, any of your like we talked about book. Now I want to. No, we didn't talk about your book. Your favorite book. Please tell us your favorite book.
Okay. The book that, if we're talking about my personal journey, right? The book that really spoke to me and the language that it had that said, oh, I intuitively knew that is Dr. Shafali's The Conscious Parent. So
Okay.
read that book and it was just so beautiful, the things that she said in there. And it reminded me. And after, that was a few years ago, and now she's a mentor to me, and it's just been amazing to meet her but also have her as a mentor. So that book really got me thinking more about my own inner world in here and how I speak to myself and then how I speak to my child. Yeah, it's been
Okay.
changing, life changing for me. I know it sounds so cliched, life changing, but seriously, if I did not make that shift in my life, I think I would be a different person, right? That angry person who always want everything to go her way, right?
Mhm. Okay. And if you could borrow a superpower for 24 hours, what would it be and why?
Oh my
And how
gosh,
you are
a
going to use it, maybe?
superpower. A superpower always thinks like, oh my gosh, it's like Marvel story. Okay, one of the things I have also learned is the power of being calmer, right? So if I could just maybe that superpower for just one day, I go out there to all parents and say, feel what calm feels like. Feel
Hmm.
your body regulated for that 24 hours. Embrace it. So when your child comes, yeah, screaming or doing something, and you feel that for that 24 hours, I just want you to feel what deep regulation feels like. and how your body feels, so that when it goes, you remember that feeling. Say, now I know how to be more patient, more calm with my child. So that's the superpower I want to give all parents.
This could also be a motivational message which you would like to give to the listeners out there. Or there is some other motivational message. Please share.
I think one of the things I often remind parents is this: we cannot, like we mentioned earlier, there are three things in our lives we can control, but we know controlling people never works. We can accept the situation and say, okay, it is what it is. What do I do? Or we can decide to leave. We can say, right now, I have to walk away from this so I can calm and come back to it. So that's my message. We all have choices in the way we behave as parents. Those three
Okay.
choices: control, accept, leave. Yeah.
Control, accept, lead. Wow.
Yeah.
And make better choices.
And from there, we can then make our choice, right? Because we know deeply we can't control anybody and we wouldn't want to be controlled. So if
Yes.
I don't want to do that, that breaks a relationship. Maybe I can accept my child is crying, my child is upset. Then we say, what do I do next? That's the
Mhm.
acceptance. I can't change the moment my child is crying, and I can't shout at them because children don't have control of their brain emotion right then. So then maybe I can step away. If the situation is safe, let me leave for a few minutes, feel calm, and then come back, right? So we all have choices. Not all choices are easy, but at least we know we have choices in the way we want to approach our children.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all choices are easy. That's so
Yeah.
true. So true. And now, Vanessa, any gift for our listeners? How can people connect with you? Do you have any free resource or any free buy? Will you like to share with the community?
Yes, I would. Okay, so one, I have a series called the Power series of journals. I would like to share one with the community called the Power of Softening, because sometimes I feel parents, we are just like me, quite hard because we don't want to be penetrable. We are impenetrable. So I have a journal where you can look at some of the questions to ask yourself and just soften the way you look at yourself, right? And the second one I would love to is I will share with you, Shilpi, the code in which the community can come and experience my online platform, the Conscious Parenting
Okay.
Circle, for a month, a free month. Just come in, see. We are growing the platform for a global community.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful and wonderful conversation, Vanessa. I mean, I loved it, and I am sure that parents who are watching or who will be watching later, maybe they, get some perspective on, like being a present parent, right? And enjoy also the journey of parenting, and accept things as they are, accept children
Yes.
as they are, and many other things which we discussed during this conversation. And to everyone who watched us live or will be watching it later, I wish to let you know that through Live Wabi Sabi Life, I work to create spaces empowering women by sharing experiences of women leaders, professionals, through features, magazines, podcasts, and conversations. Because our motto is every woman carries a story that has power to inspire someone else. So thank you so much, everyone. Together we will rise and shine. And thank you so much, Vanessa, for being here for your words of wisdom.
Thank you for having me. The more we share, the more we learn from each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. On this note, bye bye. Take care. Keep shining and inspiring.
Thank you, everyone.